My name's Harper Thompson. Well, it was Harper Reynolds before everything fell apart. I grew up in a cozy suburb outside Chicago, the kind of place where kids ride bikes till sunset and neighbors wave from their porches. My folks were high school sweethearts, so I always believed in forever love. I met my husband, Jack, in college. He was that charismatic guy in business class, always cracking jokes and acing every presentation. We dated for 3 years, got engaged right after graduation, and tied the knot in a beautiful lakeside ceremony. "You're my rock, Harper," he'd say, holding me close. We built a life together, a cute house in the suburbs, 2 dogs named Max and Bella, and dreams of starting a family someday. Life felt perfect, like we'd cracked the code to happiness. Jack was ambitious, always pushing for more. After college, he landed a job at a mid-sized marketing firm in downtown Chicago, climbing the ladder fast. By 30, he was a senior executive, overseeing a team of bright young things. I was proud, heck, I bragged about him at every family barbecue. I worked as a graphic designer from home, flexible hours that let me handle the house stuff. We were that couple, you know. Weekend getaways to Michigan's wine country, game nights with friends, lazy Sundays with pancakes and the dogs chasing squirrels in the backyard. But ambition has a price, I guess. Jack started working longer hours, traveling for client meetings. "It's for us, babe," he'd say, kissing my forehead before heading out. "Once I make VP, we can slow down, maybe buy that cabin up north." I believed him. Why wouldn't I? Our marriage was solid, or so I thought. We laughed together, supported each other's dreams. I even helped him with presentations sometimes, staying up late to tweak slides while he paced the living room, practicing his pitch. Enter Emily. She joined Jack's team about 2 years into his exec role. I met her at the company Christmas party, a fresh-faced 25-year-old with big blue eyes, blonde curls, and that eager energy new grads have. She was from a small town in Iowa, moved to the city for her big break. "Harper, your husband's a genius," she gushed when Jack introduced us. "He's teaching me so much." I smiled, flattered on his behalf. "He's the best," I replied, squeezing Jack's arm. Little did I know, that night was the beginning of the end. At first, it was innocent. Jack mentioned her in passing, "Emily nailed that pitch today," or "Emily's got fresh ideas for the campaign." I encouraged it, good leaders mentor their teams. But then the mentions got more frequent. Emily and I grabbed lunch to brainstorm. Emily stayed late to help with the report. I felt a twinge, but brushed it off. Jealousy wasn't my style. Besides, we were happy. Or were we? Looking back, the signs were there, subtle like cracks in a foundation. Jack's phone buzzed more at night, and he'd angle the screen away. He'd come home smelling faintly of a new perfume, light and floral, not my vanilla scent. "Client dinner," he'd explain. Our intimacy faded, he'd collapse into bed, exhausted, turning away when I'd reach for him. "Rough day, Harp." "Rain check?" I'd nod, telling myself it was stress. Our family setup was idyllic on the surface. My parents lived nearby, popping over for Sunday dinners. Dad and Jack bonded over grilling steaks, talking Cubs baseball. Mom and I would sip wine in the kitchen, her saying, "You've got a good one, honey. Hold on tight." Jack's family was in California, distant but loving. His mom called every week, asking when we'd give her grandkids. Soon, we'd promise, laughing. We tried for a baby that first year of marriage, but nothing happened. Doctor said stress, we shrugged it off. "Plenty of time," Jack said. But time has a way of slipping away. As Jack's career soared, our home life shifted. I handled more, the bills, the dogs, the yard work. "You're amazing at this stuff," he'd say, grateful. I was the supportive wife, the one who packed his lunches with notes like, "Knock 'em dead, love." Friends envied us. "You guys are goals," my bestie Sarah would text after seeing our Instagram posts, us at a concert, arms around each other, smiling wide. Emily became a fixture in our conversations. Jack suggested inviting her to a barbecue. She's new in town, no family here. Be nice, right? I agreed, playing the gracious hostess. She showed up with a bottle of wine and homemade cookies. Thanks for having me, Harper. Your home is gorgeous. We chatted, her about adjusting to city life, me about design projects. Jack grilled burgers, laughing at her stories. I caught him watching her a second too long, but chalked it up to the wine. Months passed. Jack got promoted to VP, champagne toasts, a fancy dinner downtown. Emily was there, of course, as part of the team. Couldn't have done it without you, Jack said in his speech, nodding at her. She blushed. That night, in bed, I whispered, I'm so proud of you. He kissed me, but it felt distant, like muscle memory. Our daily routine was comforting. Mornings, coffee together, dogs begging for scraps. Evenings, takeout and Netflix, cuddled on the couch. Weekends, farmers markets in the summer, cozy fires in winter. We talked about everything, politics, books, future trips to Europe. Let's renew our vows at 10 years, I suggested once. Deal, he said, eyes sparkling. But underneath, something brewed. Emily started texting him outside work hours. I'd see her name pop up on his phone. Work stuff, he'd say. One night, he left his laptop open, and I saw an email. Can't wait for our next meeting, winking face, my heart skipped. Was it flirty? I confronted him gently. Jack, is something going on with Emily? He laughed it off. Babe, she's like a little sister. You're paranoid. I felt silly, apologized. But the seed was planted. Family holidays amplified the facade. Thanksgiving at my parents', Jack carving the turkey, charming everyone. Christmas, matching pajamas, gifts under the tree. New Year's, kissing at midnight, toasting to us against the world. His parents visited once, gushing over our life. You're perfect together, his mom said. I believed it. Emily's role grew. Jack assigned her big projects, praising her in meetings. Colleagues joked about his protégé. I met her for coffee once, trying to befriend her. Jack speaks so highly of you, she said, eyes bright. He's incredible. Something in her tone, admiration bordering on more. I ignored it. Then came the business trips. Jack and Emily to New York for a conference. Team bonding, he said. He called every night, but shorter talks. Miss you, I'd say. You too, he'd reply, distracted. When he returned, a new watch on his wrist. Client gift, he explained. But I found the receipt later, bought in NYC, expensive. Doubt crept in. Our sex life dwindled. Headache, he'd claim. I'd initiate, but he'd pull away. Not tonight. I blamed work stress, suggested counseling. We're fine, Harp, he'd snap, then apologize with flowers. Family pressures mounted. My sister had a baby, everyone asked when we'd follow. Working on it, Jack said at gatherings. But privately, he avoided the topic. Let's focus on my career first. Emily's social media showed her thriving, posts from work events, tagging Jack. Comments like, best boss ever, with hearts. Friends noticed. She's crushing on him, Sarah said over lunch. Shut it down. I laughed, but inside, worry gnawed. One evening, Jack came home beaming. Emily closed a huge deal today. He hugged me, but his excitement felt off. That night, I dreamed he left me for her, woke up crying. Bad dream, I told him. He held me, but his touch felt cold. Our anniversary approached, 5 years. I planned a surprise weekend in Door County, Wisconsin, cabin, hikes, romance. Can't wait, he said. But days before, he canceled. Emergency at work. Emily's handling it, but I need to be there. My heart sank. We rescheduled, but the magic was gone. Looking back, our family setup was a house of cards, beautiful but fragile. Parents proud, friends envious, dogs loyal. But cracks widened. Jack's late nights increased. Overtime, he said. I'd wait up, alone with wine and doubts. The hook that pulled me in? Believing love conquers all. But love blinds you. And when the blindfold slipped, the truth hit like a storm. That's when my world shattered, and the woman I thought I was? She transformed. But I'm getting ahead. Let's rewind to that fateful day when I discovered the betrayal that would change everything. It was late summer 2024, a humid Chicago evening that felt heavier than usual. Jack and I had been married 5 years, living what I thought was our dream life. Cute house, 2 dogs, plans for a future family. He was the hotshot VP at his marketing firm, and I was the supportive wife, juggling freelance graphic design and keeping our home running. But those cracks I mentioned? They were spreading. Jack's late nights, his distracted texts, that floral perfume lingering on his shirts, it was all adding up, but I kept shoving the doubts down. Love makes you blind, right? Until it doesn't. The day it all unraveled started innocently enough. Jack was at the office, supposedly working late on a big campaign. I was home, designing a logo for a client, Max and Bella snoozing at my feet. Around 8 p.m., my phone pinged, a text from Sarah, my best friend. Harp, you okay? Saw something weird on Instagram. Attached was a screenshot from Emily's story, a candlelit dinner at a swanky rooftop restaurant, 2 wine glasses, and a man's hand in a familiar watch, Jack's watch. The caption read, "Best work dinner yet." Smiling face with smiling eyes #TeamStar. My stomach twisted. Work dinner? He'd told me it was an all-hands meeting. I stared at the screen, my heart thudding. It's nothing, I whispered to myself. Just colleagues. But the watch, silver, engraved with our initials, a gift from me for his 30th birthday, was unmistakable. I called him, hands shaking. Straight to voicemail. Hey, babe, just checking in. Call me? I texted, trying to sound casual. No reply. By 10 p.m., I was pacing the living room, Bella whining at my anxiety. I opened Instagram, checked Emily's profile. Her stories were gone, but I scrolled her posts, too many with Jack, smiling too close, captioned with inside jokes. My gut screamed what my heart wouldn't admit. I grabbed my laptop, logging into our shared iCloud to check his location, something I'd never done before. His phone was at the aviary, that fancy rooftop spot, not his office. Why would he lie? I could have waited, confronted him when he got home. But something snapped. I threw on a jacket, grabbed my keys, and drove downtown. The city lights blurred through my tears as I navigated to the aviary. Parking was a nightmare, but I found a spot and stormed inside, heart pounding like a drum. The hostess smiled. Reservation? No, I said, voice tight. I'm looking for my husband, Jack Reynolds. Tall, dark hair, probably with a blonde woman. Her smile faltered. Let me check. She led me to the rooftop patio, all twinkling lights and clinking glasses. And there they were, Jack and Emily, tucked in a corner booth, laughing, her hand on his arm. He leaned in, whispering something that made her giggle. My world stopped. I stood frozen, clutching my purse, as the truth slammed into me. Jack, I said, my voice cutting through their bubble. He looked up, eyes widening in panic. Emily's smile vanished, her face paling. Harper? What are you doing here? He stammered, pulling his hand back like it burned. Funny, I said, voice shaking but cold. You said you were at the office. So what's this? A work meeting? Emily fidgeted, looking anywhere but at me. Harper, it's not. Don't, I snapped, cutting her off. Don't lie to my face. Jack stood, reaching for me. Babe, it's just dinner. Let's talk at home. I stepped back. Don't touch me. How long, Jack? How long have you been sneaking around? The patio went quiet, eyes on us. He opened his mouth, but no words came. Emily's silence was answer enough. I turned and walked out, tears burning my eyes, their faces seared into my brain. I drove home, hands gripping the wheel, replaying every moment of our marriage. Was it all a lie? When Jack got home an hour later, he was full of apologies. Harper, it's not what you think. Emily's just a friend. We got carried away celebrating the deal. Celebrating? I laughed bitterly, holding up my phone with the screenshot. This isn't a handshake, Jack. This is you lying to me, again. He sank onto the couch, head in hands. Okay, I messed up. I have feelings for her. But I love you. I swear, I'll end it. Feelings? The word cut deeper than I expected. You're in love with her? He didn't answer, just stared at the floor. That silence was louder than any confession. I grabbed my keys again, needing air. I need space, I said, slamming the door behind me. I drove to Sarah's, sobbing as I told her everything. He's in love with her, Sarah. My husband loves someone else. She hugged me, letting me cry, but her words stuck with me. You deserve better, Harp. Don't let him break you. The next week was a blur. Jack moved to the guest room, begging for forgiveness daily. I'll quit, Harper. I'll cut her off. Let's fix this. I wanted to believe him, but the trust was gone. I started digging, needing the full truth. I checked his phone one night while he slept, unlocked, careless. Texts from Emily, I miss you already. When are you telling her? My heart shattered again. This wasn't a fling, it was a full-blown affair. I went deeper, accessing his emails. There were hotel receipts from their business trips, same room, same bed. Photos of them at conferences, her head on his shoulder. And then, the gut punch, an email from Emily, sent months ago, saying, I'm falling for you, Jack. What do we do? His reply, I feel it too. Just need time to figure this out. Time? He'd been stringing me along while planning a future with her. But the biggest shock came when I checked our bank statements. Withdrawals for dinners, gifts, a necklace I never received. He was spending our money on her. I felt like a fool, his rock, his wife, funding his betrayal. I confronted him that night, shaking with rage. How long, Jack? How much of our life was a lie? He broke down, tears streaming. It started 6 months ago. I didn't mean for it to happen. She just got me. But I don't want to lose you. Too late, I said, voice ice cold. You chose her. He admitted they'd slept together, that he'd fallen in love. But I can fix this, Harper. I'll end it with Emily. I laughed, a hollow sound. You think that's enough? You broke our vows, Jack. Then came the final twist. Emily called me, voice trembling. Harper, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to hurt you. I love him, but he's leaving you. He wants to be with me. I froze. He said that? Yes, she whispered. He's filing for divorce. I hung up, numb. Divorce? He hadn't even told me. I stormed into the guest room, where Jack was packing a bag. You're leaving me for her? I yelled. After everything? He looked defeated. I was going to tell you. I love her, Harper. I'm sorry. Sorry. That word meant nothing anymore. I kicked him out, told him to stay at a hotel. Alone in our house, I collapsed, sobbing until my throat was raw. The dogs curled up beside me, as if they knew. My perfect life, gone. But as the tears dried, something else took root, anger. Not just anger, fury. Jack thought he could toss me aside, humiliate me, and walk off with Emily. No way. He'd pay for every lie, every tear. That night, I made a vow. I wasn't just going to survive this betrayal, I was going to make them regret it. Jack and Emily had no idea what I was capable of. They thought I was the sweet, forgiving wife. They were wrong. I was about to become their worst nightmare. After I slammed the door on Jack that night, the house felt like a tomb. Empty, echoing with the ghosts of our life together. Max and Bella paced the living room, whining, sensing the shift. I slid down against the wall, knees to my chest, and let the sobs come, ugly, guttural ones that left me gasping. How had I missed it? 5 years of marriage, vows exchanged under that lakeside arch, and he'd been building a secret world with her. Emily, with her bright eyes and fresh ideas, stealing my husband while I packed his lunches and waited up with the lights on. The first wave of turmoil hit like a tidal wave. I called my mom at 2 a.m., voice cracking. Mom, he's leaving me. For her. For Emily. Oh, honey, she said, instantly awake, her voice thick with sleep and worry. Come home. Right now. But I couldn't move. I sat there till dawn, replaying every argument, every tender moment. Was the anniversary trip to Door County a guilt trip? The way he'd hold me after a bad day, pity? I felt stupid, small, like the suburban wife in some bad rom-com. By morning, Sarah showed up with donuts and coffee, pulling me into a hug. Cry it out, Harp. Then we burn his stuff. We didn't burn anything that day. Instead, I spiraled. I stopped eating, barely slept. The dogs got walks, but I'd stare at the park where Jack and I used to toss frisbees, tears blurring the trees. Friends texted, what happened? I ghosted them, too raw to explain. Jack called non-stop, voicemails begging, Harper, please. Let's talk. I love you both, but I can't lose you as a friend. A friend? I deleted them all, blocking his number. But the pain? It clawed at me. Work suffered. My freelance gigs piled up, deadlines looming, but I couldn't focus. A client email bounced back undelivered because I'd typed Jack's old address by habit. Sorry, I wrote, attaching the files late. Guilt layered on guilt, I was unraveling, and it scared me. Nights were the worst. I'd lie in our bed, his side cold, inhaling the faint scent of his cologne on the pillows. Why wasn't I enough? I'd whisper to the dark. Dreams haunted me, Jack and Emily at our wedding, her in my dress, laughing. Then came the anger phase, hot, blinding fury that kept me up plotting in my head. I'd pace the kitchen at 3 a.m., Max trailing me like a shadow. He thinks he can just leave. For her. I'd mutter. I started journaling, scribbling pages of rage, how he'd used our joint savings for her gifts, how he'd mentored her right into his heart. Emily wasn't innocent, she knew he was married, had been to our home. Hypocrite, I wrote, underlining it. But beneath the anger, doubt crept in. Was I too domestic? Too predictable? Had I let myself go while chasing his dreams? I sought therapy, emergency sessions with a counselor named Lisa, recommended by Sarah. Our first call, I unloaded, he fell for his 25-year-old employee. Said she gets him. What does that even mean? Lisa's voice was calm, steady. It means he's avoiding his issues, Harper. Not that you're lacking. Betrayal like this? It's about his selfishness, not your worth. Her words helped, a little. We talked boundaries, self-care. Write a letter you'll never send, she suggested. Get the poison out. I did, 10 pages to Jack, spilling every hurt, the lies, the gaslighting, the way he'd made me question my sanity. You destroyed us, I ended. I burned it in the backyard fire pit, watching the flames curl the paper, feeling a spark of release. But the turmoil lingered, a constant ache. Family rallied. Mom drove in from the suburbs, cooking my favorites, meatloaf, apple pie, while Dad fixed the leaky faucet Jack always promised to handle. "Men like that don't deserve your tears," Dad said gruffly, handing me a beer. "You're tougher than he ever was." My sister FaceTimed from her new mom chaos. "Sis, you're a queen. He's the fool who lost you." Their love was a lifeline, but it highlighted the hole Jack left. No more inside jokes, no more "good morning" texts. Just silence. As weeks blurred into a month, the emotional roller coaster leveled into resolve. I unblocked Jack one day, not to talk, but to eavesdrop. His social media? All lovey-dovey with Emily, brunch dates, weekend hikes. A post, "New chapter with my soulmate Redheart #blessed." Soulmate? I laughed, bitter. But seeing them happy fueled the fire. Revenge wasn't just a fantasy anymore, it was a plan forming in the quiet hours. Step 1, gather intel. I wasn't confronting yet, that'd tip my hand. Instead, I played detective. Sarah helped, hacking his old email ethically, with a shared password he never changed. Emails from Emily, "Can't wait for our life together." His reply, "Soon, babe. Divorce papers by next week." Divorce. He was moving fast, like I was an afterthought. But buried in the threads? Gold. Jack had been siphoning company funds for their dates, falsifying expense reports. Client lunch, listed as $500, but the receipt was for a romantic dinner. Shady, but not illegal yet. Leverage. I confided in Lisa during session 2. "I want to hurt them, make them feel this pain." She paused. "Revenge can poison you too, Harper. Channel it into empowerment, divorce smart, protect your assets." Empowerment. That stuck. I called a lawyer, Elena, a shark in family law. Over coffee, I spilled the affair details. "He's leaving me for her," I said, voice steady for the first time. Elena nodded, fierce. "Good. We'll make it hurt financially." Prenup? No. Even better, Illinois is equitable distribution. You get half, plus alimony if we prove infidelity. Half. The house, savings, his 401k. But I wanted more. What if he's embezzling from work? Her eyes lit. That's criminal. Tip off his boss anonymously, tie it to the affair. He'll lose his job, reputation. The plan crystallized. Phase 1, secure my future. Elena filed for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences. No affair mentioned yet, to avoid drama. I froze joint accounts, moved my freelance earnings to a new one. Jack freaked when the papers hit, voicemail, "Harper, what the hell? We can work this out." I didn't call back. Instead, I texted, "Sign them. Or it gets worse." Phase 2, psychological jabs. Subtle, to sow doubt. I accidentally liked an old post of his from our honeymoon, caption, "Forever with my love." Comments flooded, friends asking, "Everything okay?" He messaged, "Stop this." I replied with a heart emoji. Mind games, but Emily? She was the wild card. I friended her on a fake Facebook profile, old college pal of Jack's, and messaged, "Congrats on the promotion. Jack's so proud." She bit, spilling, "Thanks. We're taking it to the next level." Face blowing a kiss. Next level. I screenshotted, added to my file. Turmoil peaked one night. I drank too much wine, scrolled their photos, ugly cried till Sarah crashed on my couch. "Why her, Harp? She's young, sure, but you're real. You're the one who built him up." "I know," I sobbed. "But it hurts so much." She held me. "Use it. Plan like a boss, pun intended." Boss. That sparked phase 3, career sabotage. Jack's firm valued image, affairs were HR nightmares. I researched, anonymous tip lines, ethics hotlines. But I needed ironclad proof. Enter Mike, Jack's old college buddy and now a colleague. We'd always gotten along, he'd hinted Jack was off lately. Over casual drinks, I texted him first, I probed, heard about the divorce. Sucks. Mike sighed. Yeah, man's been distracted. Spending company cash on personal stuff. Like what? I pressed, innocent. He spilled, fudged reports, gifts to a friend. I recorded discreetly, legal in Illinois, one-party consent. Send me examples? I asked. He did, emails, receipts. Jack was toast. Emotionally, it was war. Some days, I'd wake missing him, tempted to forgive. What if it's a mistake? I'd think, staring at our wedding photo. But then a text from Elena, he's countersuing for the house. Fight dirty? No. I fought smart. I confided in my parents over dinner. Mom teared up, you're stronger than this, baby girl. Dad, make him regret it, but don't lose yourself. I wouldn't. Phase 4, social isolation. I reached out to mutual friends, leaking, just enough, Jack seeing someone from work. It's over. Whispers spread. Invites dried up for him, sympathy poured for me. Emily's posts. Flooded with side eyes. The planning honed me. Journaling turned tactical, pros/cons of each move, timelines. Lisa approved, you're reclaiming power. Good. But a twist loomed. One evening, Mike called, voice urgent, Harper, heads up, Jack's proposing to Emily this weekend. At that rooftop where you caught them. Proposing? After 5 years with me, months with her? Rage boiled. This was my cue. No more turmoil, just action. They thought they'd won. I'd crashed their happy ending. Mike's call about the proposal lit the fuse. Jack, proposing to Emily at the aviary, the same rooftop where I'd caught them? It was poetic, infuriating, and the perfect launch pad for phase 1, crash their fairy tale. I didn't cry this time, I geared up. Sarah helped me pick an outfit, a sleek black dress that hugged my curves, the one Jack always said made me irresistible. Makeup? Smoky eyes, red lips, war paint. You're not going to fight, Sarah said, handing me my keys. You're going to conquer. I arrived early that Saturday evening, heart pounding but steady. The rooftop was buzzing, couples toasting, city lights twinkling below. I spotted them in the corner booth, Emily in a flowy white dress, giggling as Jack fidgeted with a velvet box in his pocket. He looked nervous, almost sweet. Almost. I waited till the waiter poured champagne, then approached, glass in hand like I belonged. Jack. Emily. I said, voice smooth as silk. They froze, champagne flutes midway to their lips. Harper. Jack choked, box slipping back into his jacket. What the hell are you doing here? Emily's eyes darted, face flushing. This is private. You need to leave. I smiled, cold and sharp. Private? Like your work dinners? Congrats on the upgrade, Emily. From intern to fiancé, impressive. Jack stood, blocking her. Babe, don't do this. We're done. Go home. Done? I laughed, loud enough for nearby tables to glance over. After 5 years? You owe me a conversation, Jack. Or should I tell everyone here how you funded this romance with company money? His face drained of color. What are you talking about? I pulled out my phone, flashing a screenshot of the fudged expense report, $20004, client gifts, actually a necklace around Emily's neck. Gasps rippled from eavesdroppers. Emily touched the pendant, horrified. Jack, is that true? He stammered, it's not, Harper, stop. But I didn't. Enjoy your proposal, I said, raising my glass. To new chapters, may yours be as short as our marriage. I walked away, head high, as whispers exploded behind me. Phase 1, Psychological Demolition. Their romantic night? Ruined. Jack's proposal? Postponed, maybe forever. I heard him yelling my name as I left, but I didn't look back. Adrenaline surged, first blood. The next morning, Phase 2, Financial Warfare. Elena had the divorce papers ironclad, but I wanted him broke. I'd frozen the accounts, but Jack had a separate one for emergencies. Using the shared login he'd never changed, arrogance, thy name is Jack, I transferred what I could to a holding account for the settlement, legal, since it was marital assets. Then, the big hit, I emailed the expense fraud docs to his boss, anonymously via a VPN. Subject, VP misusing funds for personal affair, check attachments. By noon, my phone buzzed, mutual friend texts, Jack's in a meeting. Sounds bad. I feigned shock in replies, what happened? Inside, triumph bubbled. Jack called from the office, voice frantic. Did you do this? They're auditing me. Harper, if you leaked. Me? I said innocently. Why would I? Maybe it's karma, Jack. For lying to everyone. He cursed, hung up. Emily texted from a blocked number I'd unblocked for intel, you bitch. He's getting fired because of you. I screenshotted, sent to Elena, more ammo for infidelity clause. Twist one hit that afternoon. Mike called, excited. Harper, it worked, they suspended him pending investigation. But get this, Emily's involved. She signed off on some reports too. HR's grilling her. Emily? Complicit? I laughed, poetic justice. She wasn't just the mistress, she was an accessory. I texted her fake profile, oops, guess you're in hot water too. Sorry not sorry. Her reply, stay out of it, or I'll sue. Empty threat. Leverage. Phase 3, Social Sabotage. Jack and Emily's new chapter depended on friends, family. I started subtle, hosting a girls' night with our circle, venting, just enough. Jack's affair crushed me, but I'm healing. Sympathy flowed, invites for him? Zilch. Then, bolder, I posted on Facebook, a throwback wedding photo, caption, 5 years of love, and lessons. Moving forward stronger. Broken heart right arrow red heart, comments exploded, you deserve better. What did he do? Whispers reached Jack's family. His mom called, Harper, honey, is it true? An affair? I played hurt, I didn't want to say, but yes. With his employee. It's over. She gasped, promised to talk to him. His California relatives unfollowed him online. Emily's posts? Crickets, then deletions. Mutual friends sided with me, the betrayed wife. Jack texted, you're turning everyone against us. Stop. Us? I replied. There is no us. You made that choice, but the emotional toll? It wasn't all victory. Nights after these moves, I'd curl up with the dogs, second-guessing. Am I the villain now? I'd whisper. Sarah reminded me, no, Harp. You're surviving. Therapy with Lisa, revenge empowers, but don't let it consume. I journaled wins, house in my name, per prenup tweaks, alimony locked. It grounded me. Phase 4, Career Crucifixion. With the audit raging, I escalated. Anonymous tip to the company ethics hotline, voice-altered recording of Mike's spill, plus docs. Jack Reynolds and Emily Carter, embezzlement for affair. By Monday, headlines in industry blogs, marketing firm probes VP affair and fraud. Jack was fired that day, publicly, with a press release citing policy violations. Emily got demoted, then quit in disgrace. Jack showed up at the house that evening, disheveled, begging on the porch. "Harper, please. I lost my job, my savings. Emily's furious, she blames me. Let's call a truce." I opened the door a crack, Max growling beside me. "Truce? After you proposed to her with my money?" "No. Sign the papers, or the cops get the full audit trail." He broke, tears streaming. "I was wrong. She's not worth it. Come back to me." Twist 2, Emily's betrayal. As he spoke, my phone buzzed, a text from her. "Jack's lying to you. He has a gambling debt, $50K. Use company funds to cover it, not just us. I'm out." Attachment, bank statements. Jack had hidden debts, dragging her, and me, into his mess. I showed him the screen. "Gambling? You ruined us for cards and her?" He paled. "How did you?" "Doesn't matter," I said, slamming the door. Inside, rage mixed with pity, he was pathetic. But it sealed his fate. I forwarded the debts to Elena. Divorce settlements skyrocketed, half his pension, the cars, everything. Phase 5, the public sting. With Jack jobless and Emily ghosting him, I went viral, subtly. I leaked a tell-all to a local gossip site, anonymous, via Sarah, betrayed wife exposes cheating ex's fraud. It spread like wildfire, LinkedIn rants, Reddit threads. Job offers? Dried up for Jack. Emily moved back to Iowa, tail between her legs, posting vague, fresh starts. But the shocking escalation? I confronted Emily alone. Drove to her apartment, address from Mike, knocked. She opened, wary. "What do you want?" "Closure," I lied. "And this?" I handed her a USB, her signed fraud docs. "Testify against Jack in the audit, get immunity. Or go down with him." She teared up. "I loved him. But he used me." "Fine, I'll do it." Twist 3, she flipped hard. In her statement to investigators, she detailed everything, affair, funds, even Jack's proposal ring bought on the company card. Feds got involved. Jack faced charges, wire fraud, potential jail. He called me from a lawyer's office. "You win, Harper. You destroyed me." "Good," I said. Feel what I felt. The final blow, our divorce hearing. I walked in poised, him slouched, Emily absent. Judge ruled, me, the house, full alimony, his name off everything. As we signed, he whispered, "I'm sorry." For real. "Too late," I replied, walking out free. But revenge's high faded fast. Friends celebrated, "You slayed." But alone, I wept. The dogs licked my tears, Sarah hugged me. "You did it, Harp. Now heal." Executing it all, crashing the proposal, financial hits, social exile, career ruin, legal hammers, felt like justice. Multiple shocks, each a twist of the knife. Jack ended up in a cheap apartment, job hunting in disgrace. Emily? Back home, single and scarred. Me? Transformed. Yet, as the dust settled, karma whispered one last secret. A letter from Jack, "You broke me, but maybe I deserved it. Wish you well." I burned it, but doubt lingered. Was this closure, or just the start of my own reckoning? The days after the divorce hearing felt surreal, like waking from a nightmare only to find the bed still cold. I stood in my house, papers in hand declaring me free, and just stared. Max and Bella wagged their tails, oblivious, but I felt hollow. Revenge had been my fuel, but now? Exhaustion. I'd won the house, the savings, alimony checks that'd keep me afloat. Jack slunk away to a dingy apartment in the suburbs, jobless and disgraced. Emily vanished back to Iowa, her fresh start posts gone silent. But victory tasted bittersweet, like chocolate laced with salt. First came the cleanup. I boxed Jack's stuff, his baseball cards, that ugly tie collection, and dumped it on his doorstep. Goodbye, I texted, blocking him for good. Friends rallied. Sarah threw a divorce party with pizza and karaoke, us belting breakup anthems till dawn. My parents visited, Mom redecorating the living room in bright colors. New you, new vibes. Dad mowed the lawn, grumbling about that idiot ex. Their love filled the gaps, reminding me family isn't just blood, it's who shows up. Work rebounded. With alimony as a safety net, I took bolder freelance gigs, landing a contract with a big design firm. "You've got fire," my new boss said during the interview. Fire? Yeah, forged in betrayal. I started a blog too, anonymous at first, sharing lessons from a broken heart. Comments poured in, "You inspired me to leave my cheater." Karma's real. It healed me, turning pain into purpose. But emotionally? Waves crashed. Some nights, I'd scroll old photos, missing the Jack I married, not the cheater, but the college boy with dreams. What if I'd noticed sooner? I'd wonder. Therapy with Lisa became weekly. "You're grieving the life you lost, Harper. Honor it, then release." I did, yoga classes, walks with the dogs, even a solo trip to Michigan's wine country, toasting to myself under the stars. Closure snuck in quietly, like dawn after a long night. Karma? Oh, it delivered. Jack's fraud case escalated. Feds charged him with embezzlement. He pled guilty, got probation and fines that wiped him out. Last I heard, via Mike, he was flipping burgers at a fast food joint, single and regretful. Emily? She tried suing for defamation, but Elena shut it down. Turns out, her flip statement exposed her own lies, tanking her credibility. She ended up waitressing back home, posting vague memes about lessons learned. Mutual friends distanced, his family barely spoke to him. "You reap what you sow," Mom said when I shared. She was right, karma didn't need my help, it finished the job. One twist in the aftermath, a month post-divorce, Emily reached out via email. "Harper, I'm sorry. Truly. Jack used us both." If I could undo it, I stared at the screen, tempted to ignore. But I replied, "Apology accepted. Move on, we both deserve better." Not for her, for me. Forgiveness isn't forgetting, it's freeing yourself. That email? Closure's final bow. Life bloomed anew. I dated casually, a nice guy from yoga, coffee dates that ended in laughs, not tears. No rush, I was rebuilding. The dogs got a new sibling, a rescue pup named Phoenix, symbolizing my rise. Family holidays shifted, Thanksgiving at my place, me carving the turkey, toasts to strength. "Proud of you, kiddo," Dad said, eyes misty. Lessons? Plenty, and I'll share them straight. First, trust your gut. Those red flags? They're alarms, not decorations. I ignored Jack's late nights, the perfume, don't. Second, love isn't blind, don't let it be. Open eyes, open talks, about everything, from dreams to doubts. Third, revenge? It's a tool, not a lifestyle. It empowered me, but holding on to hate? It poisons you. Use it to pivot, not perish. Fourth, you're enough. Betrayal says more about them than you. I wasn't boring, Jack was weak. And finally, karma exists, but don't wait for it, build your own justice through growth. If you're watching this, heart shattered like mine was, know this, it gets better. You'll cry, rage, plot maybe, but you'll rise. I did. Now, I'm Harper Thompson again, single, strong, and open to whatever's next. Thanks for joining my story, it's yours too if it helps. Hit like if it resonated, subscribe for more real talks, and comment, what's your biggest lesson from heartbreak? Let's support each other down there. Until next time, love fiercely, but love yourself first. Peace out.